Infinite script fighting has its fair share of references to Roblox media, whether that be Roblox hats or characters from other Roblox games. But there are two specific characters that I want to talk about today, that being John Doe and 1x1x1x1. John Doe and 1x1x1x1 have to be two of the most powerful scripts in the entire game, both having extremely powerful moves that can wipe out groups of players in seconds. Both of these characters are based off old Roblox hackers or myths, and they're definitely the most interesting characters in the game to me. So today, I'm going to come up with ideas for the next possible hacker or myth script to come to the game, but there is a certain someone that I'll need to address before we get into that.
The Cool Kid Conundrum.
Cool Kid was planned as a script for Infinite Script Fighting. Whether he was going to be a leaderboard, daily points, or kill count script, we don't know. But he was going to be the next hacker script, most likely to be released in the Changed Everything update. But due to leakage of playtesting footage for Cool Kid, the devs decided the community had seen enough and scrapped them entirely. Eventually, some of their moves were eventually repurposed for the top leaderboard script, Forbidden Tech. Because of this, Cool Kid will most likely not be coming to the game in any shape or form. So with Cool Kid most likely sadly scrapped, let's see some possible contenders for the next hacker script.
Nolly.
When people are asked to name popular Roblox hackers, three names usually come to mind. That being 1x1x1x1, John Doe, and Nolly. Nolly is an old popular hacker that first originated as a glitched account on the Roblox website. He was then banned by Roblox, and players thought that one day Nolly would return and destroy Roblox. Nolly appears as a normal blocky Robloxian. He's pitch black with purple coal appearing around him. He wears his famous tragedy mask as his void star floats above his head. So with his backstory and visual appearance out of the way, let's get on to how I think he would play.
Nolly Modest.
Nolly will be a mostly at-range script, meaning their kit will mostly be comprised of ranged attacks and projectiles, with around one or two close-up abilities. He'll have a total of 125 HP, with health regen of 5 health per second. Nolly, like Teapot Turret, will also start with 75% of his total HP. Nolly would also have a flight ability, similar to Killbot, where they can fly around freely for a short amount of time.
The Tempest.
Nolly will hover their cursor over a target of their choice. Then when this ability is activated, the target Nolly selected and Nolly themselves will be travelled to the Temple in the Tempest for a proper 1v1, complete with ASPX spectating. Inside the Tempest, anyone inside besides Nolly will have passive health drain more than they can gain back, meaning even with health regen, you won't survive here for long. Both Nolly and the other player will remain in the Tempest for 30 seconds, then be transported back to the main map. Or, either player gets to leave early if the other player dies early.
Grand Finale.
This isn't an ability, but rather a passive that Nolly will have. When Nolly reaches below 35% of his total HP, he gains a buff to the damage on his abilities, as well as extended flight time. This gives Nolly the ability to possibly win back a fight if they find they aren't doing so good. Right, that's Nolly's specifications done. So let's move on to our next possible candidate.
Rust _ 010.
Rust _ 010, or just Rust. The popular myth which has garnered a considerable following due to the popular YouTuber Flamingo's covering of his myth. It may not be as big now, but back in its prime time in 2017 it was on top of the world, shrouded in mystery with fans eager to uncover Rust's secrets. In his infinite script finding form, Rust would appear as a normal Robloxian, with a salmon-coloured torso, white head and arms, and light-blue legs. He also wears a rusty t-shirt over his torso. Rust will use the Roblox Man Bundle, with the man head and the specific smile face, as well as wearing his signature scarecrow hat on his head. So, how do I think Rust will work in infinite script fighting? Well, let's go through his concept moveset.
Rust Modest.
Rust would be a script focused on trickery and deceiving his opponents. He has 110 health and starts with a full health bar, having health regen of 3 health a second. Rust will have a mix of close-up and ranged projectiles, some having unique interactions. So let's look at some of them.
Projectile canceling.
Rust will be able to fake out projectiles by cancelling them before they land. Doing this could force your opponents into unoptimal positions and making your opponent act in ways they usually wouldn't. Projectile cancelling can be activated by pressing the ability key after the projectile is already fired. By cancelling your projectile, the ability will be on a longer cooldown than it normally would. As well as this, if you have cancelled a projectile, you cannot cancel any other projectiles for 25 seconds. This makes it to where you cannot simply cancel all your projectiles, though I wouldn't know why you'd want to do that, as that would just merely be a hindrance to yourself, not the opponent.
Replication.
Replication is an ability that, when activated, will place down a similar looking clone of Rust, but not exact, like some body parts blocky instead of the Roblox man bundle, and his clones will never wear the same hat. These clones will stand around with the default player's idle animation, the one when they haven't chosen the script, and never move from the position they were placed at. The clones cannot be damaged, and will disappear by themselves naturally after 150 seconds. Rust is able to place up to 3 of these anywhere on the map.
Blink and you'll miss me.
Blink AYMM, or Blink and You'll Miss Me, is a move that allows Rust to teleport around the map. However, he can only teleport to his clones created using replication. When this move is activated, Rust will move slower, and is allowed to select which clone to take place of. When a clone is selected, he will be transferred there, and the clone will be destroyed, creating a large, rusty explosion where Rust ends up. Note the explosion is only for show and doesn't actually deal damage. So, with some of Rust's specifics out of the way, let's move on to our next myth, which just so happens to be...
Guest 666.
Guest 666. He's the most infamous guest on the platform. Well, besides 1337, but anyway. Guest 666 was said to be a guest that had admin powers in any game, able to kill players and destroy any map, or even the entire game. Players started fearing Guest 666, thinking he could come for them next. In Infinite Script Fighting, Guest 666 would appear as a normal guest, with the classic guest shirt and pants, as well as using the Robloxian 2.0 bundle. He would also wear the Roblox R baseball cap, commonly associated with guest players. Now let's move on to
Guest 666 models.
Guest 666's moveset will consist of solely close-ranged melee attacks, having no ranged options. Guest 666 will have 166 health while having health regen of 6 health per second. This is making him quite a tank, able to withstand blows most scripts wouldn't be able to. But this also makes Guest 666 risky to use against scripts with good mobility, or scripts that have the ability to launch or fling players away. But Guest 666's movement will be centered around his
Alchemize meter.
Guest 666 has an alchemize meter. This meter, much like Calamity's power level, will fill up over time, but it will also partially fill when abilities are landed. The meter will start to shake more and more on the player's screen the more full it is, going from white at 0 to blood red at 100. When Guest 666's alchemize meter is full, if the player activates his alchemize ability, Guest 666 will go
Demon mode.
When in demon mode, Guest 666 takes on the classic appearance we all know him as, a typical guest with pitch black skin and piercing red eyes. In this form, Guest 666 will also increase in size, becoming slightly shorter than Mr. Bye-Bye. He will also be shrouded in shadow particles, and leave a pitch black trail where he walks, like Honors. In demon mode, Guest 666's abilities all get buffed, dealing 1.5 times the amount of damage they usually would. Guest 666 will also gain a considerable speed boost in this form, being slightly slower, around the same speed as Sutart. When in this form, his alchemized bar won't drain immediately. Instead, they will be given a 15-second grace period with no meter drain when activated. Once that 15 seconds is up, however, the meter will then start to drain at 5% a second.
Final thoughts.
There. These are my possible predictions for the next hackers/myth script coming to Infinite Script Fighting. I hope you all enjoyed hearing my ideas and thoughts on this. If you have any concepts you would like to share, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Don't forget to like or maybe even subscribe on your way out. Well, that's going to be all for me today. Thank you all for watching this far if you have. So, yeah. See y'all later.